How did the beings who built this temple understand magic? Plant magic is very strong, and if there is not respect, they will have a worsening of distortions. Magic is meant to help with transitions. There is magic when a child grows up. Magic allows transcendence to occur. What must you mix together in yourself and in your own crucible to transcend who you have been, rising into who you have always wanted to be?
Hello, my name is Alunya. I am an Akashic channeler and a psycho-spiritual healer. And right now I am in Egypt. You are finding me on a sailboat, sailing down the Nile on this beautiful evening. It is perfect here. I wanted to come on and give a little introduction to the video that you are about to see. On this journey, which is taking place before I lead a group of precious beings through these sacred lands, I have had the opportunity to visit the Temple of Edfu, which is the temple of the elder Horus. There are several different versions of Horus or different phases that Horus is in, and this specific temple was for him as an elder. That temple contained many depictions of various types of magic, and the energy of that space was true magic. It was alchemical magic. It was real magic, and I have not interacted with that energy before, and there were several reliefs and different hieroglyphics that I have not seen anywhere else. There were depictions of plant magic, plant medicine of various kinds, psychedelic medicines, and medicines that we only find in South America are depicted in this temple. It was absolutely mind-blowing. I had no idea that anything like that existed here in Egypt. And so while I was feeling my way through the space, I just kept feeling this call to really understand what is magic. How did these beings define magic? What is their definition of it? How do they interact with it? And what is their relationship to magic? So I put out just a question to the space and to the beings, the energetic beings that hold that space, if anyone would be open to having a conversation about that, to offering their definition of magic. And I got a response. The answer was yes. There were a group of beings who were willing to speak through. So I sat down in one of the rooms, and it had to be a little secret. So you'll notice I'm talking rather quietly because it had to be a little bit on the down low that I was doing that. But initially, what my guides explained is that I would be bringing through this information and kind of translating on behalf of this group of alchemic priests and teachers. So it was a group of alchemic priests and teachers and priestesses who inhabited that temple and who taught in that temple and also healed in that temple. They did all of the things that they were meant to do in that space and from days gone by. And initially, that is how it started. I was translating for them. And then there is a moment in which I had to pause for a very long time. You won't experience as long of a pause as I had to, but I had to wait to allow a group of humans to pass through the space before I could keep going. And in that time, I was able to drop in even deeper. And so when the next piece came through, this group of beings actually spoke through me. So you will notice that, and you'll hear the change in the voice, the change in the energy. You'll easily be able to hear that. But it was a very interesting experience for me because I have not taken in that kind of energy from a group of priests and priestesses in a temple before. So this was all new. I have never tried to bring through an energy for a sacred space while being in a sacred space. And it is deeply powerful, deeply powerful. There is much more to be said about all of that, but I would love to have you enjoy this for now. And I just wanted to mention that for those of you who feel called, and particularly if you align to the energies that are coming through in this transmission, I really encourage you to go to my website, to alunyanoel.com/meditations, and read about the meditation and the activation that I'm going to be holding here from Egypt on the lunar eclipse, and then again on the solar eclipse. So there is a lunar eclipse happening this month, September 17th, and there is a solar eclipse happening at the very beginning of October. If you resonate with energies from Kemet or from Egypt, Kemet is the ancient word for Egypt. If you resonate with those energies or with any of the energies in this video, Or if you resonate with dragons, then I highly recommend that you check out that page and just read for yourself to see if that's something that you will want to participate in, because I know that it is going to be extremely powerful. I am only a couple days into being in Egypt and so much has already happened. So I really encourage you to look into that if you feel called and if you resonate with this. And I would just love to have you be a part of that experience. So looking forward to hearing your comments, reading, and just learning how you receive this. Until I see you again.
I want to just kind of pose a question, which is, how did the beings who built this temple understand magic? What was their definition of magic? How did they work with it? Their definition of magic was the meaning of life. The meaning of life being the alchemical processes that transpire, that transcend, and that transport beings. Each of those words means that someone is being taken through something, or that something is moving through something else with a desired outcome or an effect that would take place within it or after it. That is how they understood magic. That is how they used magic in this space. And that is also part of what has been lost, they are saying, is these three layers of what magic is and what magic can be and how it can be used. They are saying that some beings have been misusing the available magic by only trying to transport themselves to another space or another dimension without the understanding that they are meant to visit that space to transcend beyond themselves. They are meant to have a different relationship with themselves when they are transported to another dimension. That is something that has been lost, has been misunderstood, is currently being misused on this planet at this time. And that is for us to understand regarding plant magic. They are saying plant magic is very strong, and it is one of the most readily available and easily accessible and also strongest magics that are available because it comes from the earth. The earth provides this magic, and beings are able to take this magic in, and if there is not respect between the plant, the magic that it holds, and how it is a guide and a teacher at the time of consumption, then the person using this magic is misusing it. There is no respect in that way, and the experience that the person has is going to be a misrepresentation of what the plant teacher is there to show them. They will not understand. They will have a worsening of distortions in many cases if they sit with this teacher without a reciprocity, without respect for what the teacher is giving. Magic is meant to help with transitions, to move one being through an experience or a time of life. There is magic when a child grows up and passes through the different alchemical processes and physiological changes that take place in the body. There is a magic that is no longer honored in that process. Even for younger children, they are saying, when the body changes in a very rapid way and new bones start forming, teeth come in more strongly, that is also a time of magic. But because it happens so quickly at such a young age, it is often overlooked. So then the next most obvious time is the transition from childhood into adolescence, When children move through puberty, that transition is a time of alchemical magic. Children today are not given the support, and they do not have a relationship to their bodies that allows them to see the magic that is taking place within them, and the magic that they are able to understand about themselves will assist them at every other transition through their life from that one point. This is why so many become lost after adolescence. They do not have the experience of moving through adolescence with grace nor with assistance, and they do not see themselves as becoming wiser. They do not see themselves or their bodies as transitioning through an alchemical and magical process that brings them into the next stage of their development, whether they are a man or a woman, whether they have female organs or male organs or any other organs. Their body is changing. It is shifting in a very significant way, and it is the most significant way for the human body at any other time in life is this transition. And the magic of that space has been lost, has been demeaned in many ways. There is a sense of being less than during that time. And now there is an attempt to reclaim the power of adolescence. There are ways that it is coming through in distortions at this time on our planet, but there is a reclamation of power during the time of adolescence, which is ultimately a good thing. The bodies know that they must reclaim this transitionary time in order for it to be the magical, alchemical process that it is meant to be. This cycle that a being goes through during the time of adolescence sets the tone for every other transition and for the remaining cycles in a human's life. When there is too much hardship or strife during the time of adolescence, with no support and with no understanding of what is happening physiologically or even emotionally, the being is left stunted. They are not able to progress in the same way unless they end up moving out of that themselves at a later time. 21 years old is the next time that a child who becomes an adolescent and does not have support may be able to move through the transition that they lost. So 21 years old is when they get a second wind or a second opportunity, they are saying, because of the spiraling on the timeline of when a being moves through another process. 21 years old, around that time, is when there is a chance, but even that has been taken from many beings in different countries because of what they are the pressures that they are put under, whether that is for work or school or already a family. So now many people during that time of 21, they are pushing responsibilities and other aspects that would accompany the transition into an older adult or an older adolescent is a better way of understanding it, they are saying. And they are pushing off responsibilities because they are prolonging their experience as an adolescent as they are trying to complete the cycle. And so there are some who are going through either significant traumas during that time to try to jumpstart them into a different way of being, or they are doing the opposite and they are pushing things back very, very far in an attempt to resist the transition because they do not have the support. This is a time, a period in a human's life that must be looked at more closely in the coming years if we are to see shifts and change in future generations. Transcendence, to move beyond the layers of self that have been constructed from society, through time, through programming upon arrival on this planet, to rise above by going through them. This is transcendence. Magic allows transcendence to occur, and transcendence allows magic to occur. These two principles work in a balancing, in a dance together. They work as two alchemical catalysts to create a shift in a being, to burn away, to calcify a layer or an aspect that no longer serves. Transcendence is not reserved for the select few who reach a level of enlightenment, as it is understood by some humans. Transcendence is meant for all. At any point in time, you may transcend where you are, who you are, the limitations that hold you back, and the stories that mock you in your mind. You may transcend them. Through magic, you rise above. There must be a catalyst, and if there is no external catalyst, then become the catalyst that you need to transcend, to rise above. Use the power of your thoughts and the power, the magic and energy of your awareness to become a catalyst, to then become the alchemical components that you need. What must you mix together in yourself and in your own crucible to transcend who you have been, rising into who you have always wanted to be? We wish to share one example of becoming a catalyst with your own mind, with your own energy. You must first become aware of your thoughts. This is the foundation of all magic, to be fully aware and present. If you are not aware, then you cannot create, and magic is creation. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of one thought. What is the quality of this thought? What is the energy that this thought carries? Where do you feel this thought in your body? How does it activate you? How does it numb you? How does it make you hopeful? Or how does it make you fearful? Ask as many questions as you can to identify the energy of this thought. And once you have done so, you will have stripped down all the layers of this thought to arrive at the core energy that this thought carries for you. It is to be understood as both a gift as well as a piece to be used in your crucible. It is part of your alchemical toolbox. It is part of your inner space that you have to draw materials from. We call it prima materia, the first material, the beginning material. Start with your most common thoughts, your most common stories. Strip them down, and what energy remains at their core? These components will tell you what you are able to transform them into. Discover the energy. Is it the energy of compassion, of empowerment? Is it the energy of worry or disdain? Is it a story that brings you back to being 7 years old, feeling very scared? Within this story, this thought, lies the component that is best suited for you to transcend yourself. There is always a shadow. There is always a light within a story and a thought. Uncover the shadow. How is it holding you back? Identify the light. What is it illuminating within you? What is the gift? What is the burden? Identify and alchemize to transcend yourself. This is possible in each moment. There is more to share at a later time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. My energy stays with me. Your energy stays with you. I don't have any words. May you remember your magic today.